G'day, thanks for watching this video. I think you're going to find it very informative. This video is going out to the members of our REZ Resistance and to other community groups that are concerned with the expansion of these renewable energy zones, not just in the northwest of Tasmania but across all of Tasmania and even mainland Australia. I've got with me today Heath, who is the president of the REZ Resistance group. And Heath has just got back from the mainland, haven't you? You've been over there for a little bit?
Yeah, I've had 6 weeks having a look around, Jason, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what were you doing over there? What were you going to look at?
well, I wanted to be informed myself before sprouting my mouth off, and obviously we've got a big presence here, so I had to be fully informed. So I've had 6 weeks looking around and soaking in what's been happening on the mainland. Obviously it's been quite destructive, so so soaking that in. So I just know what I'm talking about. What
were the main renewable energies that you were looking at over there?
Well, there's both solar and of course the wind turbines. There's one thing we probably should quickly make a quick note of. Is one thing that really stood out, and I'm also going to talk about fracking and everything else like it, because not only do I talk to the community members around other states and one thing or other else, but also Aboriginal communities and what they're going through. And the thing that stood out mostly there was the nature of state and federal governments and the way that they're pushing these things through. It's like a uniform thing, like all governments. Whether it be from the territory or any other states. Everybody's being treated the same way that we are here in Tasmania. It's like they've been through the one guerrilla warfare establishment.
They've all had the same training.
Yeah, it's just like the same training group.
The public.
So the way that they're running railroading organisations, people, communities, it's all from the same
playbook.
It's all the same playbook.
Yeah.
A whole lot of it.
Yeah, well, that's interesting to know too. Obviously a consolidated effort federally.
Yes, obviously comes right from the top. It's probably from the Scott Morrison days, I think, was where it was kicked off.
Did you speak to any of the people that are living within these energy zone areas and how they're finding it and how long they've been dealing with it?
Certainly did. Well, the way they're dealing with it's not very well. Obviously the different ways to look, individuals or communities. The communities are obviously they're torn apart. They're a little bit in front of us here, so it's getting to the stage now. Even like people that are hosting proponents. Very regretful now. They've got a big multi-million-dollar passive stream of income. They wish they'd never seen it. And we need to probably do another video to those people that are out there that are looking at hosting these proponents of what they need to look at and make sure that they're in contracts and everything else. And I'll guarantee if they put the things in there to safeguard themselves, the proponents will run.
Well, that's the thing. Like they put in there saying that these people who are going to host them can't speak about the negative impacts of them, right? And you'd have to ask yourself why.
One of the things is, and we'll do another full video on the build, the thing that we've been chasing all the way along from the Minister, is now issued us with a copy of the bill, of course. For those of you who don't know what the bill is, it's what's going to be tabled, which goes through Parliament, which comes out as an act on the other side, in other words, the law. Even in this bill, the wordings and specific sections specifically, dominate people. People just can't speak.
It's gag order on them.
There's gag orders involved, so even when things go pear-shaped, you just sit in the corner. So we'll do a video on the full bill. Some stage.
Good.
I think I've done a video before I went away and sort of indicating on where this bill was going to go, and it's probably more draconian than what I thought it was going to be. With relations to infrastructure and one thing or other else, easements, that sort of thing. So we'll do a full video on that at some stage. We might touch on it a little bit more sometime soon. One of the things that come out when we tried to get the minister to speak to us and everything else, and obviously
The Tasmanian Minister, Nick
Duggan.
Yeah,
obviously Nick Duggan is, he's probably too much of a coward to speak to us.
Yep.
With what intentionally knowing what he's doing to the people of North West Tasmania, he won't come in.
Yep.
So from an individual perspective, the one thing that really touched home with me was one lady in Central Victoria. From our last meeting in Burnie, there was we tried to get something out to proximities to people's residences for turbines, which in a recent feedback sheet that we got, I think they stated 1.5 kilometres, but in the bill,
the nearest one, yeah.
In the bill, I think it actually states might even be to the Australian regulations, the federal regulations.
Yep.
Which I believe, from memory, is 35 decibels at the residence.
So it's not a distance as such; it's a
No.
measurement of noise,
Yes.
which can vary.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you cannot scientifically know what that's going to be until it's there.
Yeah.
So this particular lady that I spoke to, and I was there at her place, and I think I've shown you a picture. You've seen a picture of,
Yep.
of the proximity, and even though it looks very overpowering on a property, it's actually 1,017 metres from the back door, so it's 1.17 km. In the high prevailing winds, 70 to 90 decibels.
Yep.
Now, thing being now that you say, righto, these things aren't compliant.
Mm.
Well, the way they deal with that, all right, they might be compliant, but and you think, righto, they've got to come down because they aren't compliant. What goes on then is the next best practice, not non-compliance.
Yeah.
Which for this particular lady was the proponent filled a roof cavity up with insulation and put double glazed windows in.
Yep.
Obviously it didn't help the lady out at all.
No.
I was there and I seen it myself.
You heard it yourself.
But now it's almost like it's compliance because they met the next best practice.
Yeah.
So the 35 decibels at the residence is, it's not nothing to officially run by. And if Duggan was to come down here and talk to us and bring up these issues, he'd have something written into the bill.
Yeah.
With regards to noise, and ensure non-compliance meant non-compliance.
Yeah.
But the bloke's too weak to even come and see us. So.
Yeah. Sounds like it's more of an advisory. We'd like to have it at 35 decibels. That's what we're going to aim for.
It doesn't. To me, to see what I was seeing, it doesn't mean anything.
No.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't comply, then we'll go to the next best practice, which
Near enough's good enough.
Which
Yeah.
doesn't help anybody at all, and in fact it destroys people's life. This
Yep.
lady's at a wit's end.
Yep. And we've seen there's lots of other videos out there if you search on the internet too of people who have been dealing with this, living with the noise, and actually speaking out now, even at the threat of prosecution because of these gag orders. People have had enough. So research would have a look. There's plenty of videos out there of people that are suffering and have suffered for a long time with the noise that's created from these wind turbines.
Well, absolutely. It's noise, but there's other issues involved here too, Jason. There's, just recently we've seen in Victoria where the Country Fire Authority have refused to go into renewable energy zones.
Yep.
Obviously that impacts people's insurance.
Yep.
Not only does it impact the person's insurance, but if you can't get insurance on that house, you go to sell that house, the banks require that place to be insured.
If they're going to have a mortgage,
If they're going to have a mortgage, yeah.
Yep.
So that house is no longer saleable.
Yep.
And we've seen that here with one of our very close residents, unable to sell the property.
Over in Ridgely, right? There's
Had a contract fail, a matter of days after the REZ was announced.
Yep.
Contract fell through, so we've already seen that. It's just there's so many facets of this that I've seen.
And they do fall over and they do catch fire and they do fall apart. We're seeing it in the news recently, especially over in America, right? There's a lot of them catching fire and dropping fiberglass everywhere. And
well, they're dropping fiberglass. Now, at the moment, we've just had a Senate inquiry announced by the Albanese government into forever chemicals that have been detected in the water supply in Sydney.
Yeah.
We've had plastics in the environment for eons now.
Yeah.
Just happens to be that where this sort of thing sort of started out in that area. We've got reports on leading edge erosion, and we know that the forever chemicals are coming down, entering the waterways, the food chain, and there are reports by some pretty good people then.
Yeah.
An organisation. So,
and so what
I believe that what they're detecting there is the start of the next asbestos in the country. You know, we're starting to see the results now of our first generations of turbines starting to poison the environment.
Yeah, because the leading edge erosion that you mentioned, what for people to understand is each of these blades has the edge that is on the forward as it's moving through, the leading edge, and obviously just through natural attrition that does erode away, it gets weathered away. So that's what you mean by the leading edge erosion, and it's all the plastics and all the chemicals that are in that. And if it never eroded away, they would never need to replace the blades. But they do need to replace the blades. Why? Because they wore down.
And it's actually tonnes and tonnes per turbine.
Yeah.
It's a colossal. I just can't forget. Also, we probably should have had those figures here in front of us. But we're just rolling with the times here. But it is a lot.
Yeah.
You would have read the reports, and it's a lot of product that's coming off them, and highly toxic stuff.
Exactly. Yep. All right. Well, thanks very much for that information, Heath. It was very informative. I'm sure a lot of the people watching have probably learned a thing or two as well.
Yeah. Well, look. I suppose more importantly, the thing is that they need to acknowledge here is, like I say, we're going to have another video on the bill, so people do realise just how draconian it is and how severely these laws will affect them.
Yep.
And so, yeah, of course, we've got a meeting on Sunday.
We do. So on Sunday the 1st of September, down at the Burnie Town Hall, there's going to be a meeting at 1 p.m. I would highly recommend you come along to that. There's going to be a lot of information about how the REZ is going to impact the community. So if you want to know more, make sure you're down there. I'll put a link in the description to where you can get a ticket. The tickets are free, but you do have to go onto Eventbrite and just register, just so that they know how many people are showing up. So yeah, the link is in the description below for that to get a ticket. I hope we'll see you there.
Yeah, it is important for you to get there. Look, I know I've been banging on a little bit about people just not being accepting of just how this will affect you. It doesn't even matter if you're not in this zone. In the bill, when we run through it, you'll find out that you don't even have to be in this zone for this to affect you. But if you're in this zone, you really are in the fine line of having your lives changed. So it's imperative, if you can get along on Sunday. We realise it's Father's Day. The setup of this we wasn't involved with, but been a little bit oversight there with Father's Day, we know that. But it's imperative if you can to get there, just so you'll get some insight into just how much this will change your life.
Yeah, no point in future going, oh, I wish I'd done something about that. It's too late. We need to get the
Can I do an
there.
analogy, Jason, quickly if I can?
Yep.
Look, we look at places like China, Russia, and you can probably ask yourself a question. How did the hell did they get like that? How did they come to be in that position? And the thing is, somewhere in the past, the people just sat down and just let it happen. Are we going to sit there and do that now? The other analogy that I'd like to draw on would be the war in Ukraine. Now, people wrote Ukraine off. 2 days maximum, they'd lost their country, they'd lost everything. I've seen footage, and other people might have seen that footage, of an old lady in the street taking on Russian soldiers with a bloody handbag. That's the reason why they're there now, because everybody stuck together and they all fought.
And that's what we need to do as a
We need to
community.
fight, otherwise we're going backwards real quick, we're losing what we've got.
Yeah, very good analogy. Thanks again, mate. Appreciate your time, and let's see everyone down there on Sunday, eh?
Hopefully people get there Sunday and learn their fate.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks, Jason.